It's time for another Dice Tower review with John Richard.
Howdy gamers, greetings from Indianapolis, Indiana, the gaming capital of the world. It's time for another board game review with me, Indiana John. Today we're taking a look at another card game actually, called Diamonds. And on the box here it says, if you like hearts and spades, you will love diamonds. In addition to being a girl's best friend, this is also a trick-taking game that has a slight twist on it that makes it a little bit different and possibly more accessible for folks that do like games like Hearts and Spades, or the game Clubs by North Star Games, which is another one that on the box says, if you like Hearts and Spades, you'll like that one. But we're not talking about that one today, we're talking about Diamonds from Stronghold Games. This one's designed by Mike Fitzgerald. And as we take a look at the setup and gameplay of Diamonds, let's see if we can answer the most important question in gaming, which is it fun? So here's the setup of Diamonds. It's real simple. The game comes with a deck of 60 cards, and they're in the 4 traditional suits of normal card games. You have Diamonds, Spades, Clubs, and Hearts, or as my gaming group calls, Turnips, because they kind of look like red turnips. But anyway, but instead of having face cards in the game, they're just going to be values 1 through 15, so a total of 60 cards in the deck. Then you get this nice pile of diamonds. The clear ones are worth 1 point, and the red ones are going to be worth 5 points. We kept calling those the blood diamonds in our game with my group. And then each player gets a player screen, which represents their vaults. He's got this picture of like a vault door on it. And everyone's going to get 3 diamonds in their showroom, which is the area in front of their vault. And the idea is at the end of the game, the diamonds that are in front of your vault in your showroom are each going to be worth 1 point apiece. But any diamonds that are behind the screen in your vault, those are going to each be worth 2 points. So you're trying to get as many diamonds as possible, but you're trying to also, if you can, get as many in your vault, because those are going to be worth double points. So that's how you get points in the game. Now here's how the flow of the game works. The beginning of each round, the dealer is going to shuffle the cards up and is going to deal 10 cards to each player. And the players are then going to look at their hand of 10 cards, order them, and figure out exactly what they want to do in their turn. And they're going to, the dealer is going to decide whether how many cards to pass. So there's like a passing phase. And you can pass 1, 2, or 3 cards. But you have to pass something, either 1, 2, or 3. So maybe the dealer decides he wants to pass these 2 cards. So then you'll pass, let's say this is the dealer here. He'll pass to the player on his left, and then that player will pass 2 cards and 2 cards to here. So everybody will pass that number of cards that's determined by the dealer. Then the dealer will lead out the first trick. And it's very, very simple trick-taking rules. So the idea is that the dealer will lead out a card, in this case is the 10 of clubs, and then the next player has to follow suit if they're able to. So if they have any sort of a club in their hand and they can play it, then they will have to play that. Now, in this case, the player does not have any clubs in their hand, okay? So if they have a club, they have to play it. If they do not have a club, then they can play any suit that they want. And this is where kind of the fun actions in this game happen, is that when you play an off suit, or throw off as they call it, or fail off, then you can immediately take an action that's associated with that particular suit. So here are the 4 actions that you can do depending on what card you've played. So again, this is if you can't follow suit on a trick and you play an off-suited card, you can immediately take that particular action. So if you play a diamond, that means that you can take a diamond from the pile, the supply, and put it immediately into your vault. If you get a heart, if you play a heart, then you can take one from the pile and put it in your showroom. If you get a spade, then you can take one that's in your showroom and move it into your vault, effectively doubling the points for that diamond. And if you have a club, you can actually take a diamond from someone else's showroom and put it into your showroom. So even if you're not able to possibly win a trick, these are some fun things that you can do on your turn, even when you're kind of throwing away a card that's off suit. So let's continue with the example here. This player played the 10 of clubs, and then this player played an 11 of hearts because he didn't have any clubs. So he will then take a heart action, which is to take a diamond from the center and to put it into his showroom. And then the third player here, let's say that he plays a 2 of diamonds because he's not able to play a club either. Well, then he's going to be able to take one from the supply and put it into his vault because he's played off suit. So the winner of this trick is going to be whoever played the highest club, which in this case is the dealer. So he's going to take that trick, and he's now going to get to do a club action because he won a trick with clubs. So this is another way that you get to do those particular actions. So now he can take a club action, which is to take a diamond from someone else's showroom and put it into their showroom. So he's going to go ahead and take the diamond from the guy who just took one with his heart action. So now he has one there. So then the player who won the trick will then lead out the next trick, and you'll basically continue around in this fashion until all the cards are gone. So you're going to play 10 tricks. After the tricks have all been played, then you're going to, any players that have won tricks are going to take all the cards that they have in those particular suits, and they're going to add up the number of cards in that suit that they have in front of them. And whoever has the most of a particular suit will get to perform one of the actions that's the corresponding action that's on that card, on the card here. If there is a tie and you have the same number of tricks or same number of cards for a tied number of players, then nobody gets to perform that action. And then if you have a player who won no tricks at all, then they get to perform 2 diamond actions immediately. So they get to take 2 diamonds from the supply and put them into their vault. So then once the players have performed their actions for having the most number of cards in their tricks, then we'll pick up all the cards and we'll start a brand new round. And you'll perform a certain number of rounds based upon the number of players, and then at the end of all of those rounds, the game will be over. You're going to count the number of diamonds that are in your vault and multiply that number times 2, and then add to that the number of diamonds that are in your showroom. And then that will be your final score. Whoever has the most points will be the winner. So that is Diamonds, and as you can see, it's a very simple to learn game. There's not a whole lot of rules to it. If you're familiar with trick-taking games like Hearts and Spades, then it's going to be a breeze to learn this. And even if you aren't, I think it's a very good entry-level trick-taking game. There's not a lot of complicated things regarding trump or anything like that. As a matter of fact, there really is no trump. And you also have the cool tactile feel of those diamonds, of being able to kind of manage those. And it makes for some interesting strategic decisions, especially in the cards that you have to pass during that passing phase, because you can sort of set yourself up for being able to do particular offsuit action that you might want to do. For example, I had a game where I had a whole lot of diamonds in my showroom, and I really wanted to get those into my vault, and so I sort of orchestrated it in a way as best I could so that I had a lot of spade cards so that I could perform those offsuit spade actions to be able to get those into my vault. So there's a little bit of chaos in the game, and the more players that you play with, I think you'll find there's a lot of chaos, but I think you can have a little bit of strategy there, and it really does have the feel of a classic trick-taking game with a new wrinkle on it, and I think the diamond part of it just makes it just a ton of fun. So I highly recommend this game. I think it is great. I think that it's probably what I would bring out anytime someone would suggest a trick-taking game. This might be one of the highest ones on my list. I'm a big fan of games like Teach You and even Clubs that I mentioned recently, which was about from North Star Games, which is really more of a ladder climbing game than a trick-taking game. But as far as just pure trick-taking games, I think this one's one of the most accessible ones that's come out recently, and it's got just a new fresh feel to it. So I would give this a high recommendation. The answer to the question, is it fun? It is very fun, and I think you'll have a great time with your gaming group. So check out Diamonds.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.